What is the Cornerstone investment? And why is owning a home the Cornerstone investment? And we can prove it. And we will prove it. When we look at, and I'm speaking to us, the workers, the people working, putting in the time. When you look at the 1%ers, 80+% of those 1%ers all started from the house they occupied and lived in. It is a foundational asset that I would argue is probably the first thing you need to do. If you can pay for where you live, that asset will be the foundation that really will allow you to do other things in the future. Most people use their home as collateral for starting businesses, from businesses to inventions. It all starts from the house they lived in. Why is that? Because the best borrowed money you can get and the cheapest money in the world is a home loan that you're going to go live in and occupy for at least 12 months. Real life happens. But we're going to get into the foundational asset. That's what I have in my book. That's what I have in the book, The Ultimate First-Time Homebuyers Guide. It's an actual homebuyer's guide for first-time homebuyers and beyond. Loan people looking to get into the business. It teaches you how to qualify. The three qualifying keys to home ownership. No matter what the program is, no matter what the home loan you're seeing out there, when buying a home, whether you're even an investor, if you're borrowing money to buy a home, first-time home buyer or not, there's three categories. One's the easiest, two's the most important, three's the most difficult. Every program, every home loan, those three qualifying factors are what qualifies you for a home loan. It all breaks down to the three categories. Once you know these three categories, you'll understand how easy it is to own a home. You'll also know how to protect yourself because you don't need personal information to go over the three qualifying factors. It's very open-ended. Most people know number one, the easiest, which is your credit scores. Number two, the most important, is how much monthly income can we prove? Number three is the most difficult for most, which is your down payment and closing cost, factoring in that. But why, even in the book we go over the net worth of a homeowner versus a renter. I see it all the time. Everybody talks about investing in real estate. Unless you come from big money, everybody who invests in real estate, who makes it into that 1%, started with the house they live in. The sooner you can start the clock with forced savings, appreciation on top of it, building equity. When you look at that sacrifice for 5 to 10 years, it's a game changer. That core asset, we call it a real asset, tangible, something you can touch. And there's so much more that comes with owning the house you live in and starting from there. A lot of times, that's why it's called occupancy. You're going to occupy it versus an investment. It's a lower down payment. It's better interest rates. But it is also your foundation. Whether you're selling it down the road to step up to a better house and have equity and a bigger down payment to get a better house to live in for cheaper, or you're churning that house into a rental and buying a house with minimum down payment even though you're not a first-time home buyer. Also very important right now, I've been seeing this a lot. I've been seeing young couples, young or old, who are renters. They've managed to save. They have 10, 20,000 in savings. They have 401k money. They have some assets. But when you count their rent, their car loans, their recreational vehicle loans, credit card minimum payments, when we add all that up, most people are paying up to $5,000 or more, $4,000 to $6,000 a month. The 20th century mindset, it was okay. You can get away with not choosing the right mathematical choice. Because once you understand simple interest, start with 1,000 and type in any interest rate and divide it by 12. Type up anything up to $100,000 with any interest rate and divide it by 12. It's cheap money. And the baby boomers, they could get away with it back then. They can get away with choosing the no-cost interest rate because everything was under $100,000. Up until not too long ago, the median house prices was in the 200s. We're in the 400s across the nation for the median house price. The 20th century mindset isn't working. The 21st century mindset tells that young couple, oh, wow, you have 10,000 or more in your checking and savings. You have 20 to 60,000 in 401k, and maybe you got a little bit in stocks. But when we add up your rent, your car loans, your recreational vehicles, boats, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and credit cards, and we add up all that, you're not utilizing the most valuable money in the world. Your net take home, your blood, sweat, and tears. What you get to take home every month, what you earn and take home to spend, to live life and survive, is the most valuable money in the world. And yes, you've got a good situation and a great life. But when we look at that and we look at the 21st century mindset, and we look at, oh, wow, if we put a big down payment down with our assets, we still have car loans, recreational vehicles, trailers, dirt bikes, and credit cards. And that $2,000 to $4,000 house payment, plus all those other payments, it adds up to a lot. It ends up increasing your monthly payments. Not when you do a debt consolidation purchase. The 20th century mindset. If you are in a situation where you have the same or more assets than all of your miscellaneous debt, when we compare purchasing a home with minimum down at the same time you close your home, we're using the assets. Instead of putting a major down payment, we're using the rest of the assets to pay off all of your debt. So when you add it up, you now own a home. You start forced savings. You start appreciation. Arguably the best performing asset ever, owning the house you live in. So you're going to instantly gain equity. Here's the difference. You're now paying a $2,000 to $4,000 house payment, but you're debt free. Or there's a couple remaining debts. And when we add it all up, it's 1 to $3,000 cheaper than you put out now renting, paying car loans, paying all the different debts. Blended interest, we call it, accumulated interest. And you're not gaining any assets for that. You're wasting your net take home. You're wasting your net take home money, spending $4,000 to $6,000 a month. And yes, it feels good to have some of those assets. But if you're in a position where you can use those assets, buy a house with the debt consolidation purchase. And now you own your house, and we can save $1,000 or more now when we break it down and simplify it. House payment, minimal debt versus rent, multiple debts. Do you realize how fast you will replenish those paper assets 10 times faster, especially if we look at investing the savings? We've now reduced your monthly output by $1,000 or more, and now you own a home. That's going to gain appreciation. You're forcing savings with the principal and interest payment, and now you're in a position to where to survive every month is $1,000 or more cheaper. That is the right way to structure your foundation. Now let's look at that 1,000 plus and see what we can invest with it. That's when the investor comes in. That's when we go to the next level. We're talking about why is simple interest the cheapest way to borrow money? And why do all home loans have to use simple interest by law?